So, what's happening with the moon right now? Well, all I know is it was in the same position last month as it is this month. What those two signs have in common, what the two threads have to share with each other, is that during Moon in Capricorn and Aquarius, during the middle of the month, getting near into the next sign, and it gets earlier, Moon comes earlier, it enters that sign and stays there earlier as the months go by, theoretically. And so Moon was in Capricorn, moved into Aquarius. Last month, I got a new computer. Moon in Capricorn today, a new phone came today. Technology, that's the bridge. That's the common thread, the common parallel between those two lunar placements, especially now that the sun is in Gemini, which is an air sign. And it's all about collecting information. It's all about information. And you put Aquarius into the mix, and what do you get? Information technology, which is a field that you can take, by the way. And so this is a wonderful time to go and galvanize. That's an interesting word. Go out into your community and try to go up to someone that you know very, very well, that you have had encounters with, that you not necessarily resonate with, but maybe people who are different than you and share different viewpoints and different outlooks on life. To go and maybe invite the person over to your house, prepare a nice meal and drink, and talk about the advancements for the future, of the information technology of the future, of all the common books that you're reading, of all the common new apps and websites that are getting installed and downloaded. And that is both specific and general at the same time. And I am going to make up a word that would be specigen. That's my made up word. So just to talk about the sun and moon together in the same sign. That's what this video is about. And these are not necessarily going to be consistent, because that's going to start, I'm planning on that in June, of what I'm going to do every 2 to 3 days, and I'm going to try to make it as in-depth and varied as much as possible. To differentiate between one video and not video. You're not repeating the same information, the same facts over and over and over again, because that gets stale and that gets boring. And, I want to embellish, I want to branch out, and so, that's what I'm doing. So it's, a wonderful couple of days to, to read books, to, really activate, the mental energy, the mind power, speaking power, the power of voice as well. Gemini rules the lungs, and it rules information. Aquarius rules information, and there you go. So to do that, to learn new things, and here's the deal, that these two signs, Aquarius is a fixed sign, a fixed air sign, but Gemini is a mutable sign, and these two signs can really, really get off the charts, going this way and that way, and having a short attention span. So try to focus on something. Try to, commit to something. Maybe you're spreading yourself out and committing to a bunch of different things. But the compromise here is let's say you're reading an article off a website. Read that article, unless it's not worth your time, unless it's not worth your attention. But if you're interested and you wanna, read it, then finish it before then moving on to something else. Like same with like a book, like an informational book that has different, you know, chapters in it. Different sections having to do with different things, and you don't necessarily have to read the book in order. Read the full on that section. Preferably. I'm not sitting here telling you what and what not to do, but we have Venus in Taurus, and and Taurus is a sign that is very, very straightforward. It's very determined, but in a quieter way. It is determined in a much more, steady, take every moment as it is, take every, breath, looking out the window and seeing the trees outside, and then slowly but surely, because it's really all about the process for Taurus, to then, you know, enjoy the moment and also, you know, to, it's not, I said this several times, but it's not about the, always the prize at the end. It can also be about the experience, the journey. Well, that sounds a little bit far out. I mean, when it comes to, reading an article, obviously. But, you know, I've heard this somewhere, where Gemini can be the jack of all trades, but skilled at no trade. Because Gemini, there's just so much to learn, there's just so much to do, so much to experience, so much to tantalize your mind into. And if that attention can be focused on something, and if it can be pinpointed and on the dot, creativity, interest, focus, I think I've said the word focus twice, and enjoyment out of that thing. Don't read War and Peace if it's just not worth it. Don't go, like if it's worth, like if you're leaving your house and you forget something. If you're enough distance away and you can go back and grab it and go in your little, suitcase inside your house that you may have left, or a dresser drawer, or some type of container, and grab what you need to grab, and then go back into the car, and then, go forward. But if you're, miles and miles away and it's just simply not worth it, let it go. Release attachment to the thing. Be flexible with what is. It is what it is, by the way, and just, live on. Um, you know, so, what is and isn't worth it? Venus and Taurus. What is really important to me? What is really valuable to me? Am I investing my time into something that's just plain worth investing my time into? Or can I easily determine, oh, this isn't worth my time. Maybe I will, set this aside And like if you're watching a really, really long video, you start the video and, oh, I just feel kind of drained. Well, then you go back and you mark where you left off in the video. I think if people make chapters in a video, that's really, really great, because then it organizes, in YouTube videos. It sections it out. That way you might not have to watch the whole video. If you want to pick apart a certain section, you can see all the sections, pick apart a special note, guilt-free cards, guilt-free cards with that, especially then. And so watch the video, go back, and, finish it. Um, less is more. Again, to focus the attention. Um, you know, so I think with TikTok and YouTube Shorts and, Instagram, Snapchat, those types of things, I think the short attention span has really, really got into the system of, a lot of people's minds where they want that instant stimulus, that instant gratification. If I'm not entertained in how many seconds, I am leaving and scrolling on to the next thing. And, really, those apps are made for scrolling on to the next thing if you're not interested. And the videos, do repeat themselves. And sometimes it's hard to see when certain videos end or begin. That could be an exception, but, if you can see that marker to the end of the video and determine, okay, this is where it begins, this is where it ends, well, then that can be, an important factor there. So that is my little astro note on these couple of days, and just the sun and moon, and what's going on with these two luminaries. The sun being that bright, hot star that just wants to radiate, warmth and energy onto the earth. And then the moon, which is quiet and comes in at night, and it's about going in. It's like, the sun, spring and summer, where we're in the overland, we're energized and all that kind of thing. And then the winter, where we go into reflection. That's very much the flavor of the moon, is that going into deep reflection of yourself and getting comfortable in your own skin. So that's what I thought that I would say. Hopefully that was insightful, informative, and I hope that you enjoyed listening to this. Obviously not watching it, because of, it's a podcast, by the way. It's an audio. But I hope that you got something out of it and learned a lot from it, and goodbye.